Hey guys, welcome back. So I've been wanting to get in here all week, but I've had some issues with my printers. So I have 3 printers down right now. I'm trying to get orders out. And I had wanted to make a kaleidoscope cane because I haven't made one in a while. So I pulled out some colors, not really ones that I like, but I just wanted to do something that's more geared towards the fall, I guess. So instead of using browns and stuff like that, I don't know why I chose reds and purples, but that's what I did. So I'm going to show you what I did. These are all at the thickest setting, every single one of them. This is Kato clay. You can use Primo, but I've got a ton of Kato and I haven't really played with it much. So I'm using Kato this time. So the way I've got these worked, I've got all kinds of cutters and stuff here. Okay, so let's see if we can get this right. So this is going to be on the side. I have to cut out gold, okay? So that's a 3. Let's move this over here. And I need another 3. Okay. So let me tell you what I got. So I've got a red, white, and purple. I have 2 2-inch squares of the thickest setting on those. And then I'm going to do a gold, white, and purple. And then I'm going to do a red, white, and gold. Right? Red, white, purple. Gold, white, purple. Gold, white, red. Then just a regular purple and white, red and white, and gold and white. The ones that I only have 2 colors, I have 3 2-inch squares of. The ones that I have 3 colors, I have 2 squares of. So each of them have 6. So it's either 2, 4, 6 or 3 and 6. But those are the colors that I'm going to use. Then I've got a little bit of white squares, which I'm going to cut out some black. And we're just going to make this for like a black and white stripe cane. Okay, so I'm going to start putting these into Skinner blends. I'm going to cut out my gold. And then I'm going to come back after the Skinner blends are made. Pretty much all of you guys know how to make a Skinner blend. And so I didn't want to have to share that in there. And it would make this video really long. And if you don't know how to make a Skinner blend, just type in how to make a Skinner blend on YouTube. And there's like hundreds of people that'll show you exactly how to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. And then we'll come back and start putting it together. Talk to you later. Bye. Alrighty guys, we are back. So we've got all kinds of fan folds made. Some bullseye canes and stuff like that, all in the red, yellow, and gold. I've got a stack of gold and white. Now I'm working on a stack of black and white, and I thought I would thin this out. So I'm taking this to a number 2. And we're going to do it that way. So, I thought today would be the perfect day to finish these up. And again, oh my god, it's so crazy around here. So you guys know that I do a show every year, right? And it's in October. Well, I signed up. I hadn't heard anything. And apparently the day after I called is when everything was going out. So I get a email that's saying that I wasn't accepted this time, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, and I wrote him back, and I'm like, what happened? I go, I'm at the show every year. In fact, you guys invited me when you first started out because you remembered me from years ago and you wanted me back in there. And I don't understand what happened. I've been supporting you guys ever since. So, yeah, I get an email back, and they said that they had made a mistake, and the wrong letter was sent to me. And yes, they appreciate my support, they love my stuff, they want me back. So whatever. Whether it was true or not, I don't know. But I'm in, right? So I always have this certain booth, and it's right at the front. The first booth you get to. So when people walk in from the parking lot, you are the first one they see. Well, today was the day for sign-ups of your booth. And of course, they didn't send a link with the email to purchase. So at 10, I'm still freaking out at 10 o'clock going, hey, there's no link. There is no link to this. So she sent me the link, and unfortunately my spot was taken. In fact, every single corner spot was taken except for what they call down the hill. So it's a park, you know, and you have your big stage, your amphitheater, whatever, and then everybody's around kind of like the stage. Then there's a big hill that goes up and down. And then there's people down here. Well, you don't even know this exists. And two, all your customers have to walk up a hill and back down a hill. I didn't want to be down there. So this is where it is. So here's the stage. You have 3 here. You have a whole line here. And you have 3 here. Now over here is where people park and they walk in. So I was that corner booth. So they couldn't miss me. I mean, I was the first one they got to. Now I'm way here on the last 3, way on the end. So there is another way where people come in here and hopefully there. But there's a bunch of chairs and stuff like here in front of the stage. So you know what? I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not okay with it, but I'm okay with it. I'm not right here. And that's where you get the biggest crowds. Because again, everybody's coming through here. So in a way, maybe that's better. Because it can get really busy. And this way it gives people time to walk around and look at everything and then head over to my site. I don't know. But I have to do this, you know. My teeth depend on it, right? So I took the last corner spot. And I told her if the other person backs out, you know, if I can take that one again, then I'd be very appreciative, right? So we'll see how that works. Saying that means that basically the rest of my time now is going to be making stuff for the show. I have a ton of earrings that I haven't sold yet. I have thrown, oh, I don't even want to show you all. Look, this is just like a slight handful that I just pulled out of my trash. Okay, so these were earrings that I made. And they're really cute earrings. But I've been really inspecting them. And, you know, this wasn't too bad. But the other side was a little bit thinner and stuff like that. So I've just been, like, throwing out the ones that I'm really not impressive with. Because 300 pairs of earrings is overwhelming to customers. So I've been really trying to scale down. And now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to set up this booth this year so that it stands out a little more. And I have got an order right here. I'm going to take that off the printer and I'll be right back. So yeah, and then I have a friend that, I don't know, she had a couple openings on this one big glass bead site show. And I was stupid and said, oh, I'll do one. Well, it started last night. Well, she posted at 11 o'clock. And then there were 2 of them. So I ended up picking a bead show. So tonight I'll be selling beads. I had beads on Marketplace. Of all places, I don't even remember how long ago that I put these beads up there. And some girl saw them and said, hey, I know you from past shows that we've done together. She's a fuser. And I love these beads. Can I buy them from you? I didn't even have them made. So I ended up making her all of them. They look like this. I don't know. She really fell in love with these. So she's coming over at 2 o'clock to pick out which ones she wants of these. So it has just been absolutely crazy. And all week has been really slow. I got my implant in yesterday. Yay. Now I have to wait a couple of months to actually get the crown, or the crown on it, or whatever, the tooth. And now we just worry about the bottom ones, the expensive ones. So, alright, I don't know what I'm doing with this. I'm sitting here talking. I don't know how to set this up for a kaleidoscope. So these are what we got. So I think we're going to at least bring these down a little bit. I don't want to go too busy because I do go awfully small. I have some new belt buckle cutters up. These went up yesterday. That was my sample. So basically you could use it, I've seen people use it where it's like that, you know, and what they do is they have a ribbon bracelet, and then you'll bring the ribbon up and then back down to tie it, I guess. But somebody asked me to make those for her, so I have them in a size 1 inch all the way up to a 3 inch. So you'll find those on my site. Hi, Makita. We have a beach trip. We wanted to do one more beach trip for Makita. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. So we have 4 of these. That's coming in September. We're hoping she sticks around till then, right? I've been calling every couple of days and seeing if there's any cancellations a little earlier. Because if I can get it in earlier, I think that's better. Okay. So now we just got to figure out what to do with all these, right? And I made the black and white stripe and the gold stripe just for a little bit of contrast. Just to separate all these colors a little bit. But I have no clue what I'm doing or what I'm making, which is usual, but this is going to be 4.5. I'm going to make this bigger. This is all using kato clay, as you know. So I'm going to go 1.5 and then 4.5. Okay. And I don't want all circles. And kaleidoscopes, as you know, there's really nothing special about them. You know, you're just putting a bunch of pieces together. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a 3 inch. Oh, actually, I made that into 4 inches. I'm going to make something simple. Going all the way across. Okay. So I'm going to turn this into a triangle. And I think I'm going to do the same with the purple. We just need a starting point. So one like this and one on the other side. So 1, 2, I need 3 inches of this. Don't know how big I'm gonna make this yet. Put that in the middle. Yeah, I don't know how many more shows I will probably end up doing. I know some of you guys travel to all kinds of shows. And that's what I thought we were going to do. But doing a show is just so hard. You know, just loading everything up, unloading everything, setting up. Now, if I had an easy way to set up, I would. But I have so much between, I don't know, between clay and glass. And then I do like those sublimation tumbers and everything. It's just so much to carry. So hats off to you guys that do this all the time. So this might be my last show, or next year will be my last, I think. I'm starting to put a lot more stuff on eBay, or not on eBay, on Etsy. That's interesting. And I think I'm just gonna basically focus on getting that store completely built and just selling that way. There's a lot of competition out there though, but so far since moving it off of my Me and the Mutts page, it's doing rather well. I have probably made more money in the past month and a half on Etsy than I did on my own site. So I'm kind of happy about that. Okay. Ooh, that would be a really big cane. But this is what I'm looking at to start, right? It's either that or I turn them and have the white on the ends. We'll figure that one out. Okay. I'm going to take some of this black and white here. I'm going to kind of make a snake. Now this I want at least 1.5 inches tall, right? What's up, Makita? I hear you moaning over there. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy yet. I was going to make like a snake. I don't know if I'm going to do that now. Oh, that's why it got all icky. I wasn't using the right side. Yeah, I wonder why. It got really soft. Really soft. You know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm not worried about the way the sides look because you're not going to see them. Yeah, something completely different from me. These are just getting really soft. I'm not going to worry about that though. Okay. These are just a little smaller. All right, let's cut some of these up. Got about an inch to go. Of all the blades I have, I don't know why I picked a long one. So I'm going to do the same on this one. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this one yet. I may actually round this one. I don't know. I'll figure that one out. But I'm going to go ahead and pause because this might take me a little bit of time. And I also have another red and white. Okay, so yeah, let me pause real quick and get this kind of started and I'll be back. Alrighty guys, so we thinned this one out a little bit. I think it helped a lot. And now we've just got all of these things to do. So we're going to take this red and white. And we are going to make this long. And we're going to stick it in there and fold it over to this side. So I'm going to take one of these and put it over here. Okay, and we're going to do the same to that one. I hope I did okay with these colors. These are the two colors that I hate together, but they actually look really good when you do it in a a makumigani. They look really great together. So I figured, you know what? I made it way too long. I want it long this way. Not quite so long as width. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. Actually, it's got its own little natural curve right here. Okay. I'm going to do that with the other one. Okay, so I could either do it this way and come across that way. All right, we're going to just do it that way. And then we have this really pretty red and white, or red and purple. Which I'm going to set right there. That one looks a little smaller. They all look a little smaller. Not a big deal. And as you can see, the process now is just putting them all together. There really is never a process to this. It's just figure out where you want them and you go from there. I don't have any more big round ones, do I? So these two are there. I may have to leave that just the way it is. Trying to think of how I want to lay this out. As you can see, I'm going to need a top and a bottom. So I'm probably going to go up like this. Let's do the same with this one. Okay. I want that gold to connect all the way to the bottom like that. And now it's just fill in the blanks basically. I should have one, two, three. Ah, I don't. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to take that one out. Got some of this gold. Okay. And I want the gold on the bottom here. Hmm. I like to have just one more right here, but unfortunately I've used it all. I do have two more reds I can use. And just set them right there. How, I'm not sure yet. Let's see. I have an idea. I'm going to try and round this one. And I'm going to get this 3 inches. Okay. And then I'm going to try and get this little piece into 3 inches. I'm going to keep it a square for now. This has been sitting for a long time, so it's a little harder than I would like. And I don't know if I want to do this as a kaleidoscope or if I just want to make it into a square one. I have a feeling it's going to need some playing around to get it into kind of a cool shape. Because just like this, it looks kind of blah. Okay, so now let me grab a glass rod. Pray that I don't break it. I'm going to squish it down. Do the same with that one. let's make this a little more even. Hopefully I didn't squish it down too far. I'm not sure if I like that. That kind of looks cool just like that. And I kind of squished this one. But maybe. I don't know why. Okay, we're just going to leave it like that. And now the fun part is reducing this. So of course I'm going to hit pause while I do this, because this may take me a long time. And then we'll decide whether we do a square. I think I want to cut it in half and then put it back together and then make the square out of that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out when I get it reduced. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alrighty, so we cut this really long, as you can see. The only thing I hate about making big canes is all the waste I end up with. So I try not to cut into it, but I need to know what it at least looks like. Okay, so not quite there, but I could either do that. All right. Or what I want to do, so the thing is what do you use a kaleidoscope with 6 sides? When do you use one with 4 sides? If anybody could explain their preference, let me know. I know that if you make a 4 side, just a square, it's easier to like wrap a bowl and stuff like that. But if you make it into a kaleidoscope that's round, I'm not really sure there's a whole lot you're able to do with them. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, so I've got this, now what? You know, you can only use that shape. But I guess with the square you can too. So I guess it's personal preference. I know most people sell, they basically sell the round ones, the 6-sided ones. And then you're going to get a really nicer design when you get the 6 as well. Okay, so that's basically the way it would be. All right. But if I do the 4, I wonder if I can cut. I don't want to cut any more off. If I cut this in half, right? See if I can get an idea. Okay, that's not right. Okay, that'll be, it's gonna be kind of like that, I guess. Ugh. Now, if I make it into 6, I don't know. This way. It's kind of an interesting center. Fine, I'm going to make this one into a 6. Okay, so, or, worst comes to worst, right? Yeah, look at all that waste. And that's a lot of waste. And see, you have 3 dots here that you don't have on this side yet. I could cut it in half. What do we have? 7. So I can cut it in like a 3 and make a little square one and then make a round one. So that way I have both. So that's what we're going to end up doing. Okay, so we'll reduce this down. Yeah, see, that's how it's supposed to look. Okay, so this is a 3. So I'm going to get this to 4 inches. And this one, see, I'm not quite there on that end, but I don't want to cut it off, because when you cut it off again, then it all moves back and you just end up wasting more clay, in my opinion. So we're going to get this to, I don't want to cut it at 1 inch, so 1.5, 3, 6, it'd be 9 inches. All right, so we're going to do the 9 inches on that one. This one, we're going to go 3. We're going to go to 4, cut that in half, and then we'll have to make this into 4 spots after that. Okay, so we're going to take care of that one, and then we'll be back. Alrighty, guys. So we are all set up here. So this is a square one we made. And I've got it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. So this is going to be cut at 1.5. I almost said 3.5 there. And then, yes, we will end up cutting this again. Or not cutting it, we have to reduce it one more time. So for colors that I don't like, I really like how this turned out. All right, so let's go ahead and figure out how to put it together. So we have this way, and that's the gold and the blue on top. One more. Okay, so we have that. That's a little funky looking. And the colors coming through on my camera are not at all what the colors actually look like. Okay. So we have this. Okay, so that's 2. And now, what happens if we put these 2 together? Oh. So this has got to stick out like that. And this would stick out like that. I kind of like that better. For some reason, I like that one better. I know it doesn't look like it's put together really good because I haven't finished it yet, but all right, let me do this one more time. So I think I had gold in the center. Yeah, I don't like the gold in the center. So we're going to set this up. Now all I have to do is reduce this one. So my first actual real cane's using Kato clay. I do like how it's a little sticky, I have to admit. But I'm pretty happy with how the design has kind of stayed together. I haven't ventured off using Fimo Professional yet. But I got to get through a lot of canes. I've got so many canes for sale. And I don't want to keep making them until I sell off a lot of my inventory, because I just don't have the room. I'm just trying to square these up a little bit better. Okay, so that side looks good. And that side looks good. Okay, so we're going to reduce this down. Okay, and then this is our one that we're going to make into a 6-side. And we've got, about 3/4 of an inch to play with here. Yeah, we still got a lot to cut off on this one. So this side looks good. This side, yep, still funky. That's a lot of waste. Okay, looks like we're finally there. But I think these will be pretty colors to, I don't know, either make a Natasha bead or some swirl beads. We'll figure out what we can do with them. Or we just lay all these little pieces like this and do the little reverse Skinner, or what do you call it? It's not a Skinner bend. I can't even think of the name right now. But we'll just lay a texture sheet on it and scratch some of it off. The name of what I want is escaping me right now. Okay, this one just seems a little bigger still. So we're going to just kind of all right. Okay, so that side looks good. Cut all the way down to there. Okay, so now it's figuring out how we want this one to sit. And I definitely don't like that. I don't think I'm going to like this way. So I'm just placing them here, but not hard. Okay. So that would be that. It's really not that bad that way. I know it's not quite seated correctly, but okay, that's weird. I have 2 of those on this side. Oh, I have 3. Okay, so I can do that. And then I can put the gold down on the bottom. And that'll give me that big solid gold piece on the bottom. Which doesn't look too bad either. And then turn that up one more time. And it doesn't matter, it's either those 2. So I either have the gold in the middle, okay, no, that is more like it. To me this is different, so I'm going to do this side. Okay, so now we're just going to press down. I am going to make me a cutter, or not actually a cutter, but a base, so that we get that 90-degree or 180 or whatever. So what would it be? I don't think it'll be 45 on each. Something to where all the sizes are perfect. Okay, so I didn't want the gold on the inside. Okay. That makes the gold on the inside. Oops. No, I want it to come in like this. I put this on this side. Or, yeah, I'm a little confused as usual. Okay. Okay, and then that's going to be this side. Now I just got to push it in. So again, you've got that pretty plain kaleidoscope, how it started. But when you put it together, it always turns out no matter what. See? So we're going to go ahead and reduce both of these, and then we'll cut it so you can see what they look like. And that's it for today, guys. And again, because the show is coming up, I am going to go through more of my earrings, start pulling some out. And I'm going to try and reduce the amount of earrings that I have, because I think it's just overwhelming. But you might not see me here for a while. You may. I found these really cool keychains. I don't know where I found them, so I don't have a link. But they're all different color. There's green, there's purple, there's pink, yellow, orange. But they're beadable. So you could even do a search for beadable keychains. I think I got these on Etsy. So basically, you can just take these apart, obviously, and add your own beads onto it. And this can be a purse charm. You know, hanging on your purse. You can hang it as a keychain. So I've got so many loose beads, so I thought I would make a couple of these as well. So that's what we're going to be doing, is just making stuff and getting ready for the show. And yeah, let me reduce these and I'll come back and show you the finished product. Alrighty guys, well I really like these. So this is the kaleidoscope, and I know the colors are really bright on my camera. They're not so fluorescent is what it looks like when I'm seeing it through it. But there's that one, and I really like that square one. I just think that is so pretty. So I will reduce these a little bit, may have a few for sale. And I'll keep a little bit for me, because I can see this making, you know, this would be a really cute donut earring and stuff like that. But I think those turned out really good. So I'm happy. So far today's worked out, even though it's been crazy. And that's it. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Talk to you later. Bye.